opportunity for the education research community to demonstrate how good they are at analysing educational experiences and contributing to classroom practice and public policy. So it's been a great opportunity for everybody. As a programme, it's interesting. The programme model is quite a tricky one to manage because we've had all these different rounds of funding with projects on a whole range of topics. But of course, from the point of view of the team trying to manage the programme, we don't actually control the projects which are selected. So rather than having a centre or having some direct influence over the projects and people and so forth that we're working with, so that you have a kind of, you're able to achieve some coherence with that, or you don't have that in successive funding rounds where the decisions are taken on the basis of research quality rather than programme coherence. So there's a nice kind of openness and inclusiveness, and there's lots of scope and opportunities for interesting developments in a programme. But its challenge is trying to find a way of making it coherent. Now, the first director of TLRP, Charles Deforge, he characterised the programme as like trying to fly a glider made of jelly. In other words, you're supposed to be making some movement and doing something and, you know, making some progress, but actually it's all wobbly and how do you get a handle on it and so on. Now, I think that's quite, that's been a very interesting thing for me as director of the programme, because we've had to develop some strategies for trying to achieve coherence. And I think this has been, in the way I see this, is a bit like playing cards, where somebody deals you the cards and you have to pick up the hand. Now, the steering committee have dealt out the cards every time we've had a funding round, and at the end of the commissioning meetings where the decisions are made and the peer reviews happened and the committee's spoken, I've had to pick up the cards. And then you look at these cards and you think, well, what am I going to do with those? Just like you do when you're playing, you know, bridge or Black Lady or, you know, cribbage or whatever. You have to think, okay, I've got these cards, what can I do with them? And so it's been a very creative sort of process in that we've had these different rounds where the cards have been dealt, and we've gradually built up a sort of strategy. Now, sometimes, of course, we haven't had the cards dealt to do what we wanted to do. And that's why we invented this idea of associated projects. We sort of borrowed some cards from somebody else to get some projects that gave us, for example, sort of reach across the life course. So we borrowed the EPI, very early years project, to get that fantastic project from Iram Serge-Batchelor and Kathy Silver and co. That gave us really substantial early years provision. And we borrowed Alex Withnell and my own work to try and get some lifelong learning at the other end. So we had to try and fulfill TLRP's aims by being creative and thus make that kind of slightly wobbly jelly more robust and more coherent so that it could fly like a glider. And so these kind of strategies that we've used for knowledge production and thematic work and knowledge transformation and our relationships with users and our partnerships with key organisations that have helped us to do things. These kind of very strategic moves, which are part of the architecture of the programme, they've basically been evolved by thinking strategically around the cards that were dealt. What could we do to make the most of those cards. And so I think in a way that's where the programme has added value. I mean, we had all these cards. What will we do with them? Well, we bring in these strategies, which basically have enabled different researchers to talk to each other, to talk to other people, practitioners, policymakers, to use the infrastructure of the programme, DSpace, the publication systems that we've got, the means of holding meetings and our networks all over the UK and internationally. We've been able to offer services to our projects which they wouldn't have had available in any other way. We've been able to offer opportunities to talk and debate and argue and work together constructively on various outputs. And so we've added value to the programme, added value to the cards that were dealt by a process of creative, strategic and positive thinking. And that's been very enjoyable. So as a very interesting thing to do.
Mm-hmm.